What's the craziest thing a teacher ever did? Mr. Peterson was already a legend at Lincoln High before I even set foot in his classroom. The rumors followed him like a trail of sparks down the hallways. How he'd once taught himself archery just to make physics more interesting, or the time he supposedly built a working hovercraft out of vacuum cleaner parts. Wild stories, sure, but nothing really prepared me for junior year. I was barely hanging on in his AP physics class with a C-. My parents were threatening to pull me from basketball if I didn't bring up my grades, which would have killed my shot at a college scholarship. "Morgan, see me after class," he said one Thursday in November, without even looking up from grading papers. My stomach dropped. Everyone knew Mr. Peterson's after-class talks had a reputation. Some kids came out ready to conquer the world. Others came out crying. When the room emptied, he leaned against his desk, arms folded. "You're failing." "I know, sir. I'm trying." "No excuses. You either want this or you don't." His voice wasn't angry, just matter of fact. "Meet me here Saturday morning, 6 o'clock a.m. sharp." "Saturday? But coach, your choice," he cut in, turning back to his papers like the conversation was over. That Saturday, I dragged myself to school before the sun even thought about rising, expecting some kind of grueling detention-style tutoring. Instead, I found Mr. Peterson loading gear into the back of his beat-up station wagon. "Get in," he said. Where are we going?" "We're going on a field trip." "Is this even allowed?" He laughed. "Probably not. Coming?" We drove 2 hours west, all the way to the coast. I figured maybe we were measuring tides or something. But then he pulled into a tiny airfield I'd never seen before. "Sir, what does the beach have to do with physics?" "Everything," he replied. "Everything has to do with physics." A guy came out and handed us flight suit. That's when I realized Mr. Peterson had arranged for us to go skydiving. "Are you serious? This is completely insane," I stammered, panic rising fast. "You know what's insane?" he shot back. "You understand force and motion perfectly on the basketball court, but not on paper. Today, we're fixing that." On the plane ride up, instead of giving me a safety briefing, he started quizzing me. "Calculate terminal velocity. Factor in wind resistance. What happens when the chute deploys?" I was freaking out, but I answered everything. And to my shock, it all started to make sense. "Good," he said. "Now, we jump." The free fall was the most terrifying and exhilarating 4 minutes of my life, but what really stuck with me wasn't the wind or the drop. It was how real physics became. Every principle we'd studied came to life right in front of my eyes. Back on the ground, he handed me a notebook. "Write it down. Every force, every calculation." I filled 10 pages before we even made it back to the car. On Monday, he handed back my last test with a big red A+ at the top. "I didn't take this test," I whispered. "No," he said, "but you wrote something better in that notebook." I ended the semester with the highest grade in the class. When I got a full scholarship to Michigan State, Mr. Peterson was the first person I called. Years later, at my college graduation, he showed up unannounced. "You know you could have been fired for that skydiving stunt," I said, half joking. He shrugged. "Some lessons can't be taught inside 4 walls." It wasn't until I was earning my own teaching certification that I learned the truth. He had been suspended. 2 weeks, no pay, all for that unauthorized field trip. He never once told me.